What's up, Ring Giants Nation? Today we're diving into the dark side of sports entertainment, the moments when larger-than-life WWE superstars found themselves trading the squared circle for a very real cell block. We're not talking about storyline arrests for cheap pops. We're talking handcuffs, mugshots, judges, and in some cases, long-term sentences that forever altered careers. Our countdown isn't here to glorify bad behavior, but to explore how fame, pressure, and personal demons can drag even the toughest competitors into the justice system. You'll hear the backstories, the legal blow-by-blows, the fallout inside WWE, and where each wrestler stands today. Buckle up, hit that like button, and let's expose the top 10 WWE wrestlers who went to jail and why. Stone Cold Steve Austin. At the height of the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin seemed untouchable until June 15, 2002, when a 911 call from his then-wife Deborah Marshall reported an assault at their San Antonio home. Police documented bruising and a bloody nose, and the Bexar County District Attorney issued a warrant in August. Austin turned himself in, ultimately pleading no contest to misdemeanor assault on November 25th. The sentence: 1 year's probation, an anger management program, 80 hours of community service, and a $1,000 fine. Behind the scenes, WWE scrambled. Austin abruptly no-showed several TV tapings, citing stress and health issues. Sponsors threatened to bail if the company looked soft on domestic violence, so creative plans for Austin versus Brock Lesnar were shelved. Years later, Deborah alleged the company had pressured her to stay silent to protect the brand, while Austin publicly expressed remorse, calling the incident his life's biggest regret. He divorced Deborah in 2003, entered counseling, and reinvented himself as a reality TV host. Yet that mugshot remains a permanent footnote to a Hall of Fame legacy, proof even the Texas Rattlesnake couldn't stunner his way out of real-world consequences. Jeff Hardy. Charismatic, daredevil, and tragically self-destructive, Jeff Hardy's police record is almost as long as his ladder match resume. The biggest hit came in September 2009 when a raid on his North Carolina home uncovered 262 Vicodin pills, 180 Soma tablets, anabolic steroids, and residual cocaine. Hardy pleaded guilty to drug trafficking, drawing 10 days in jail, a suspended 30-month sentence, and a $100,000 fine. Things looked up until June 2022. Florida Highway Patrol clocked Hardy weaving between lanes. 2 breath tests clocked a blood alcohol concentration of 0.291 and 0.294, nearly 4 times the legal limit. In February 2023, he received credit for 38 days served, 24 months of probation, 90-day license suspension converted into a 10-year revocation, plus mandatory DUI school and community service. AEW suspended him without pay. WWE issued a boilerplate wishing Jeff the best, and fans feared the worst. Hardy, now 47, entered inpatient rehab for the 4th time, vowing this was his last relapse. Brother Matt says Jeff's sobriety is a daily battle, but both insist a final in-ring run remains possible if he stays clean. Whether that redemption arc closes in a ring or simply with a peaceful retirement, the charismatic Enigma's arrests underscore how quickly addiction can turn pop from a live crowd into the clank of a cell door. Jimmy Uso tag team royalty comes with baggage. Jimmy Uso, half of the Usos, has racked up alcohol-related arrests in 2011, 2013, 2019, and 2021. The most notorious came on July 5th, 2021 in Pensacola, when officers clocked him at 50 miles per hour in a 35. His BAC, a staggering 0.202 and 0.205 on dual tests. He spent the night in Escambia County Jail on a $500 bond, narrowly dodging extended incarceration thanks to a plea deal and WWE's willingness to keep him on TV. Backstage, management reportedly issued a last strike warning, yet Roman Reigns' bloodline storyline was peaking, and creative never missed a beat. Critics cried double standard, noting WWE's harsh zero tolerance for lower card talent. Uso completed DUI courses and community service, but the pattern remains unsettling. In interviews, he credits wife, E. Trinity, formerly Naomi, and therapy for helping him rewrite the script. Still, every time sirens flash in a news ticker, fans hold their breath, knowing another another lapse could shatter the most dominant tag run of the past decade. Randy Orton before RKOing legends. Randy Orton was a troubled 19-year-old Marine recruit who went AWOL twice and disobeyed a direct order. Court-martialed in 1999, he served 38 days in a military prison and received a bad conduct discharge, making him technically ineligible to portray a heroic Marine in WWE Studios' The Marine 3 years later. Orton has called the stint my wake-up call, admitting the experience forged the chip on his shoulder that became TV gold. WWE leaned into the backstory, dubbing him the Apex Predator, with authority issues baked into character beats. Ironically, that early jail term also resurfaced when Hollywood producers balked at casting him as a uniformed hero, costing him lucrative roles, and reinforcing how off-camera missteps can echo for decades. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. Long before the survey, Scott Hall fought for his freedom in a real courtroom. In 1983, working as a bouncer in Orlando, Hall wrestled a gun from another man during a parking lot scuffle. The gun fired, killing the assailant. Hall was charged with second-degree murder and spent 3 days in jail before charges were dismissed for insufficient evidence. The emotional scar never healed. Hall later admitted he relived the shooting every night and turned to alcohol to numb the guilt. His rap sheet ballooned through the 1990s and 2000s. DUIs, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, each incident chipping away at the bad guy's mystique. Friends say WWE-funded rehab stints ran into 6 figures. Diamond Dallas Page famously took Hall into the accountability crib, mirroring the resurrection narrative he'd enacted with Jake Roberts. Hall's 2022 passing after hip surgery complications left fans mourning a charisma icon and debating whether early trauma plus relentless fame accelerated a lifelong spiral the justice system never fully addressed. Tammy Sunny Snitch. The original Divas rap sheet is tragically long, but the 2022 Daytona Beach crash was catastrophic. With a blood alcohol level of 0.28, triple the legal limit, Sytch rear-ended a stopped car at 60 miles per hour, killing 75-year-old Julian Lasseter. She was convicted of DUI manslaughter and in November 2023 sentenced to 17 years in Florida State Prison, followed by 8 years probation. This wasn't her first rodeo. Between 2015 and 2020, she recorded 8 separate DUI arrests, multiple parole violations, and a string of burglaries. WWE had already removed her from the Hall of Fame alumni page. In pre-sentencing remarks, Sytch sobbed about addiction and chronic health issues, but the judge deemed her an escalating danger to the community. Unless released early for good behavior, she won't see freedom until age 60, cementing one of wrestling's starkest descents from centerfold fame to felon's fate. Vince McMahon. Yes, even the boss fell under the gavel. In 1993, federal prosecutors indicted Vince McMahon on conspiracy and distribution charges, alleging he supplied steroids to talent. The United States vs. McMahon trial in 1994 featured Hulk Hogan testifying, Secret Service agents displaying syringes, and media outlets predicting WWE's collapse. After 3 weeks, the jury deliberated for just 2 hours before finding McMahon not guilty on all counts, citing thin evidence that he distributed drugs. Although acquitted, the spectacle nearly bankrupted WWE and led to a sweeping wellness overhaul. McMahon parlayed the verdict into a defiant on-air Mr. McMahon persona, weaponizing his real-life villainy for ticket sales. In hindsight, the courtroom victory may have birthed the very attitude era that exploded business, proof that sometimes beating the rap can still change the game forever. Kurt Angle, an Olympic hero with a painkiller habit. Kurt Angle's first DUI came in 2007, but the carousel spun faster from 2011 to 2013. The low point arrived August 2nd, 2013 in Wise County, Texas, when police arrested him for DWI after a TNA taping, his 4th alcohol-related arrest in 6 years. Angle entered rehab immediately, later admitting opioids and booze nearly ended both his career and his life. Courts imposed fines, suspended sentences, and mandated treatment rather than long jail stints, citing Angle's willingness to cooperate. Still, insurance carriers balked at booking him, and an acting career stalled. Clean since 2017, Angle credits a double neck fusion surgery, performed sober, as the pain-free turning point. Now a motivational speaker, he tells young wrestlers that gold medals don't immunize you from a cold steel cell. Jake the Snake Roberts, Jake Roberts' gravelly promos masked a darker voice. Addiction. A 2004 bust in the UK for animal cruelty revealed a neglected 10 10-foot python starved in his garage, earning him fines and a ban on owning exotic animals. That same decade, Roberts faced arrests for drug paraphernalia in Georgia and public intoxication at indie shows. The mugshots went viral, cementing him as a cautionary tale rather than a legend. Enter Diamond Dallas Page, whose DDP yoga program and accountability crib documented Roberts' rehab in the 2015 film The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Jake relapsed briefly in 2020, but remains largely sober, touring the convention circuit. His journey shows jail can be a comma, not always a period in a storied career. Enzo Amore. Eric Arndt, controversy magnate Enzo Amore, never served time, but a January 2018 sexual assault investigation got him fired while cruiserweight champion. Phoenix PD closed the case in May, citing insufficient evidence and no credible DNA matches, so no charges were filed. Still, WWE's public relations reflex was swift. Suspension, then termination for failing to notify the company of the police probe. Amore pivoted to rap music, declared himself Real One, and tried stand-up comedy. While the legal system cleared him, the court of public opinion stayed divided. Enzo's saga illustrates how mere allegation, without indictment, can still become a career death sentence in the social media era. And there you have it, 10 cautionary tales proving that even the most indestructible gimmicks can unravel the moment the red and blue lights flash. From Steve Austin's probation to Tammy Snitch's 17-year stretch, each story reminds us that choices outside the ring shape legacies inside it. If you found today's deep dive eye-opening, smash that subscribe button, ring the bell so you never miss a headline, and drop a comment. Which superstar's downfall shocked you the most? Remember, wrestling thrives on redemption arcs, and so does life. Some of these performers turned arrests into second chapters. Others never escaped the spiral. Either way, here at Ring Giants, we'll keep covering every twist, rumor, and reality check the industry throws our way. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next count of 3.